name's Brian. Welcome to the Japanese Whisky Review. Kampai, pour a drink. Today I'm going to have a bit of a chat about Japanese whisky, the real stuff versus the fake stuff. Kind of the hot topic, if you will, of the last few years. A bit of a background. Buying bulk spirits, whether it's whisky or something else, or even wine, bringing it into Japan as a business, relabeling, branding, bottling is nothing new. And around the world, same thing. And the bottles that the companies that used to do that have gone way by the wayside for the most part. So you won't be able to buy them, so it doesn't really make any difference. But there is a history there of this thing. What I'm going to talk about is these companies, when Japanese whisky got popular, because of the high standard of companies like Nikka and Suntory, make a quick buck on their back. When they found out, when Japanese whisky got popular in the last 8 years, supply can't meet demand. So these guys step right in there and say, there's an opportunity, but I'm not going to be honest about it in any way, shape or form. And the fact of the matter is, there are no government regulations in Japan that tell them they need to be honest. So pro tip number one, if you're in your local liquor store, and even if it's in Japan, but for many of us that are outside of Japan, and you see a bottle of whiskey and it says product of Japan, feel free to ignore. It doesn't mean anything. Could it mean something? Yes. But as there are no regulations, anyone can put that on the label. Bring in bulk spirits, put it in a bottle, sell it, put a label on it. Japanese looking label, product of Japan. Voila! Let's make some cash money. But really this stuff, because it's again all over the show, it's in your Mega Mart, it's in your duty free, but it's kind of like Pennywise holding balloons with a smile on his face, trying to lure you in. There is danger there. The other thing is a lot of the time it's cheaper than the real stuff. Well, they put those fancy labels on them with some Japanese motif and some calligraphy. Nice little box. Might be a good present for someone. And why would I pay that there for the real stuff? I don't really know whether it's real or not. Buying that, this is product of Japan. But all that fancy packaging and all the rest of it, it's just lipstick on a pig, to tell you the truth. Doesn't mean anything. And then you buy it, you take it, you drink it, you've heard about the reputation of Japanese whiskey, and then you go, it isn't so good. Maybe you tell your friends it isn't so good as well. I've had family and friends do the same thing. Seen it at the duty free, wherever, take it home to put in the bar, product of Japan, bring it out because they know I drink Japanese whiskey, and then I go, it's not Japanese whiskey. They don't really know because of the label. Deliberate deception. Standing on the shoulders of giants to try to make a quick buck. So, I don't want to go too far into all these brands. What I'll do is I'll drop a link in the description for Whiskey Richard's infographic, which literally, if you want to go full geek out, full nerd, you can read all of it with all the distilleries that have come and gone in Japan and just all the lines going out there. If I was to try to read that out, it'd take me 5 hours and no one's watching that sort of stuff. But it's there, and if you want to go full geek out, it's a fabulous resource, and I'll put it in there. So, and the other thing will be, I'm sure those that are learned about Japanese whiskey will ask me about, I've got to read it, Japan Spirits and Liqueurs Makers Association, and their regulation about Japanese whiskey and what constitutes real Japanese whiskey. That's a story for another day, because again, it's a long topic to discuss, the pros and cons about what that means or doesn't mean. In the meanwhile, again, if you want to go full geek out, the problem is most people aren't going to bring up that infographic and just scroll through all of it and bother reading it on their phone when they're standing in the liquor store. And all this fake stuff is right in the middle and around the real stuff. They're not going to do it. I've been into liquor stores many times. I see people standing there dumbfounded because they heard about Japanese whiskey, they're going to buy some, never bought one before, and I go, I'm just going to let you know, it may not be real, and this is real, and real, as opposed to fake, and fake. So, my quick tip, I'm not going to go talk about the ones that aren't. They can come, they can go, that are fake Japanese whiskey. My little cheat sheet is this. If you're in your local liquor store or in going through duty free, is look for these brands on the label. Suntory, Nikka, Kirin, Mars, Chichabu. Some of them you may not find in your country, but you could think that Suntory and Nikka are the biggest producers of Japanese whiskey. So they have the widest range and reach around the world. So some of them you will see and some you may see depending on you. Just look for those. Write it down. Suntory, Nikka, Kirin, Mars, Chichabu. If those brands are on the label, you are good to go. Now, I apologise to all those new distilleries in Japan that are making legit whiskies. And one of the other things is some of the old ones that I put in the naughty corner are now actually distilling whiskey in Japan. Makes it even more confusing because some of those products can be on the shelf in Japan and some of them are not real and some of them are real. And there's no necessity, even in the JS and LMA regulations, to say you need to put anything on a label. Again, I'll get back to that. Stick to those. If it's a single malt, any of those names, it's only distilled in Japan. Some of the blends may have whiskey from outside of Japan, but there will still be a portion of their own homegrown Japanese whiskey in a blend. Those 5. Again, write it down, take it with you. Those 5, you're good to go. Anyway, next video, I'm going to talk about Nikka from the barrel. And I know some of you smarty pants out there that are really well versed in Japanese whiskey are going to go, but Brian, according to the JSLMA Association, or JSLMA, it's not Japanese whiskey either. The fact of the matter is it's great stuff, and I still want to talk about it. So I'll talk about Nikka from the barrel in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. Kampai again. Bye for now.